lucky enough to survive the war. Original Baroque. When you take your look to the left, you will find the high gate to the Warsaw University. The Warsaw University is one of the highly ranked universities in Europe in our times. It was opened in the beginning of the 19th century. To the right, the Warsaw Academy of Fine Arts, and the next to the right is the church, the Holy Cross Church, with the famous figure of Jesus Christ, who is carrying his heavy cross on his back. Sursum corda. You know the expression sursum corda? This is the Latin one. Lift your hat up, sursum corda. The monument to the left, Nicolaus Copernicus, the famous astronomer, who stopped the sun and moved the earth. Nicolaus Copernicus is sitting in front of the Polish Academy of Science. This is a quite fanciful street and another component of the King's Road of the name the New World. The New World Street, it is one of the most beloved streets among our tourists and visitors, providing a big number of various eateries, good restaurants, cafes, boutiques, and so on. So in the summertime, the street is busy 24 hours. Okay, so the street is also reconstructed after the war, since, as I told you, the city of Warsaw was razed, totally razed to the ground. And I think that by Polish standards, we should think about Warsaw as a post-war city, since it was so badly demolished. It was like a phoenix that rose from ashes. The city that rose from ashes is Warsaw. Just Warsaw. No też pojedziesz prosto. Nie ma problemu. And what we can find in here, this is just the street we are going to cross. This is one of two main streets in Warsaw. The name of the street is Jerusalem. Do you know why Jerusalem Street in Warsaw? You don't know, so I'd like you to know that it was Warsaw that was the biggest Jewish city in Europe, in the world, for very many centuries, until New York City became bigger from Warsaw, starting from the very beginning of the 20th century. The outbuilding on your left, it is what used to be the headquarters of the Polish Communist Party, but we don't have any Communist Party, fortunately, today. And the same building is serving as the Warsaw Stock Exchange. Warsaw Stock Exchange, and by the building there was the monument to Charles de Gaulle. Charles de Gaulle, the officer he was, the general he was, the president of France he was, and he was a very good friend of Poland. Also, helping Poland a lot, and this is why he was given his monument in Warsaw. This is one of the most elegant squares in Warsaw, so-called the Three Crosses Square. It is in the middle. To my left side, there is the church to Saint Alexander's.
Może ja jadę do bagateli, stanę na bagateli.
Nie, wysadź nas i jadę. Żeby już nie chodzili, bo oni strasznie źle chodzą. This is just the place with very elegant shops, quite exclusive ones. There is a Sheraton Hotel standing to my left, and this is the square that was especially generated by one of kings of Poland in the beginning of the 18th century. And now the only part of Warsaw that was unchanged, I mean not destroyed by German troops. This is what you can find to the left and to the right. This is a little of taste, a little of the image of the pre-war times in Warsaw. Warsaw, by the way, used to be nicknamed to be the Paris of the North. And the architecture, especially the Warsaw architecture, that was just quite a great kind of engineers, architects' work. And the street we are driving now is also very important because of big number of embassies. There is an American embassy. When you take your look to the right, it was the American embassy. On the other side, the embassy of Canada, and many others we can find in here. And this is also the government street. A few of ministries, the Polish ministries, are located in here. One of them, the old building to my right-hand side, is the Ministry of Justice. But in the communist times, we used to say that was the Ministry of Injustice. Yes, this is true. Okay, the highway that you saw under the street we are driving now, when you take a look to the right, this is the direct way to Berlin. And the direct way to Moscow to the left. So you can find right now, very easily, how Warsaw can enjoy the perfect central location on the continent of Europe, between Moscow and Berlin. And some more government buildings on my right here. This is the ministry. This is the house of the prime minister. So the Polish government stays in this house. The next ministry was the Ministry of Education and the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we are going to stop in a minute. I'm inviting you to the all very beautiful, very spectacular royal garden. Having such a hot weather today, it would be nice to stay inside, believe me. We'll enjoy our stroll, looking at some squirrels, peacocks, not foxes. Foxes are hunting in the night. Your tour escort, he's good in Russian, he's good in many languages. One of them is Russian. So we can communicate with Carlos in Russian as well. Okay, so please we get ready to be leaving our bus. I'm inviting you to the garden. Dzięki. Dzięki, Jacek.
dzięki, szczególnie dzisiaj. Wielkie dzięki.
I co mam zjechać na dół?
So, we take it stroll.